who is a wonderful person that history forgot. Jonas Salk created the polio vaccine and refused to patent it, making it publicly available. https://wikipedia.org/wiki/Jonas_Salk. A true hero, choosing humanity over profit. It's a shame that anti-vaxxers probably dread him for his views on mandatory vaccination. But then again, I'm relatively certain they'd pick polio over the needle. Nobody has forgotten him this year. John Robb, who went down in history as the good Nazi. He lived in China about a couple decades by the time the Japanese invaded in the 30s, and he refused to leave. Despite being a proud Aryan Nazi Party member, he didn't see the Chinese as inferior people and saw China as the true home of his family and children. He took to setting up a safe zone in the city of Nanking where he lived as the Japanese army steamrolled its way through the country. He took in victims of horrible violence into the safe zone after the rape of Nanking. He patrolled the city unarmed looking for people needing help, and would have his personal driver escort them as he continued to look for civilians. He is said to have even stopped multiple rapes by walking up to the soldiers in full Nazi uniform and screaming orders at them in German to leave. He would then load the victims into his car and have them driven behind the zone. This is all while continually writing the Japanese government and military generals to recognize the safe zone and to cease the atrocities. After the war, he was jailed by the Allies for being a Nazi, and spent a few years in prison before dying of illness. Disgraced, he is estimated to have saved about 250,000 Chinese civilians. Some estimates are even higher. The greatest man, Joe. Who's Joe? Norman Borlaug invented dwarf wheat, which may have prevented the starvation of over 1 billion people. Dwarf wheat is an easy-to-grow crop that has high yields. He won the Nobel Peace Prize for it. Tom from MySpace. Jake from State Farm is here. Marie Curie. She deserves way more recognition. Only 20,000 years till we can read her research papers. Who is she? Joseph Warren. https://wikipedia.org/wiki/Joseph_Warren. He was a spirited patriot in the American Revolution. He would have been remembered as one of the founding fathers had he not run valiantly into enemy fire at the Battle of Bunker Hill. In recent history, Vishnu Shrestha. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Vishnu_Shrestha. A Nepalese Gurkha. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Gurkha. Greater than on September 2010. Vishnu Shrestha, a 35-year-old Gurkha soldier, was on his way to Gorakhpur from Ranchi. He was traveling via the Maurya Express, Hatia Gorakhpur, when between 15 and 45, armed robbers attacked the train near Chittaranjan, West Bengal and robbed the passengers of their valuables. Greater than Shrestha was fast asleep when the bandits reached him. As he awakened, he was prepared to give up his valuables. But the 18-year-old woman next to him was grabbed by the robbers who intended to rape her. The woman called for help. He pulled out the large, curved kukri knife that all Gurkha soldiers carry and attacked the bandits. Greater than Shrestha told the Times of India, "I am a soldier and get paid to protect citizens of this country. I could not sit back and watch as passengers were looted. I pulled out my kukri and attacked the criminals. I succeeded in connecting with at least 3 of them. The blows were severe and they must have got themselves admitted to some hospital. By then, the criminals started fighting back. They fired a shot that missed me. At one point of time, the kukri fell from my hand and I was overpowered. They picked it up and used it on me." The Times of India continues. After Shrestha slumped to the ground, profusely bleeding from his wound, all fight went out from the other passengers. None of them dared to make eye contact with the criminals and did their bidding. 7. Greater than 6 robbers were arrested and 10,470 rupees in cash. 33 mobile phones, 14 wristwatches and an ATM card were recovered, along with 2 pistols, live cartridges and daggers. 5. Greater than Shrestha's injuries to his left arm required 2 months of medical treatment, but recovered full use of his injured hand. Mr. Rogers. That's because he chose to live a full life with a woman he loves rather than continue the superhero path. He is not forgotten, but far too little recognized. Alexander von Humboldt. Deleted. Who? Mary C. Cole. Ibn Battuta, the world's greatest explorer, traveled most of Europe, Asia, and Africa before Marco Polo. Taught the Vikings how to make ale. Survived a shipwreck in the Mediterranean, and made it back home to his mother before she died of the Black Plague. Carl Sagan. Santa Claus. Apparently, every year, everywhere, kids and parents tell each other that he isn't real. This is the equivalent of saying that Shakespeare isn't real, but he was a real guy. The tradition of Christmas gift giving is one we carry on today in emulation in honor of him. Monsieur, the only thing that isn't real is the mythos surrounding him. Monsieur, that's an important distinction. But what matters here is that people know the truth, and they stop spreading the "Santa isn't real" line. When you say that, you take every possible good result of the magic of Christmas away. Instead, once your child or children begin to doubt or question, just tell them the truth. It's much more comforting and kind to tell your children that while Santa may no longer be alive, his spirit is in the tradition we practice today. Hitler's killer. Pre-Führer Hitler was best Führer. It's a shame he, well, did all the things he did. Lol. I forget. Florence Nightingale. https://wikipedia.org/wiki/Florence_Nightingale. RRC. DSTJ was an English social reformer and statistician, and the founder of modern nursing. Confederate General William Mahone. Although he was a secessionist and a prominent Confederate general, his actions and political career after the war is what deserves attention. He led a coalition of Republicans, Democrats, and freed black men called the Readjuster Party to rebuild Virginia, including heavily investing in schools for black children. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/William_Mahone. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/William_Mahone. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Readjuster_Party. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Readjuster_Party. JS Box was virtually lost, unnoticed for centuries until Mendelssohn dug them up and said, "Hey, y'all, this shit's pretty good." My classmate. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Passion and asterisk. Divided by asterisk pounded asterisk ep. A true hero. Choosing humanity over profit. It's a shame that anti-vaxxers probably dread him for his views on mandatory vaccination. But then again, I'm relatively certain they'd pick polio over the needle. Nobody has forgotten him this year. The greatest man. Who's Joe? Jake from State Farm this year. Only 20,000 years till we can read her research papers. Who is she? That's because he chose to live a full life with a woman he loves rather than continue the superhero path. Who?